Welcome to WFPC Podcasting, your local source for the heart and history of Pike County, Indiana. And now, here's your host, Randy Harris.
When the 1970s rolled around, people started preparing for our bicentennial. As I sell a house, often from that era, we'll find something above the roof or above the garage that's an American eagle with wings spread. Your kitchen wallpaper and your paneling were colonial American-based themes. Companies marketed colonial items, and they loved to put decals or the stamps or the Liberty Bell or the eagle, something American. I've yet to put away all my toys from the bicentennial. The catalyst for that 1970s era was the World War II generation that we often refer to as the greatest generation. They were patriots. What is this generation going to do with the 250th? The president, the governor have all called for an initiative of America 250. Today we have our preeminent historian, Sandy McBeth, and she's going to tell us what's going on in Pike County. Sandy, America 250, I guess, these are some notes I wrote. Quarter millennium, semi-quincentennial.
If you can pronounce that.
That's right. And the other one is bisesquicentennial. The next one is going to be the tricentennial in 2076. Yes. I'll be 111. I'll be Minnie Kirby.
I'll be gone.
The girls are watching this thinking, wow, that's a long time from now, and it'll get here before they know it. So talk to us about, this is through the Department of Homeland Security, is that right?
Now, I'm not exactly sure about that. Okay. I mostly just deal with the state of Indiana. They developed the bicentennial, or not bicentennial, but the America 250 committee at the state level. Okay. Charlotte Blair is one of the members. She's the contact person for us, and at the state level. And what they did was they contacted every historical society in the state of Indiana, each county, and asked for someone to be the representative for the America 250 in their county to form a committee.
Perfect. Who better?
Yeah. So anyway, when they contacted me about it, I told them that the president was Amber Lee. Well, Amber was having a lot of family issues and things like that, and she told them that she would prefer that I would take over. So that's why I am now the chair of the America 250 committee for Pike County. And we try to meet once a month and go over ideas and different things like that of things that we can do to kind of push a little bit, to make people realize, we're 250 years old now. We've been around a while, and we just had our bicentennial here.
16.
Just recently had, not just, Indiana's, but Pike County's and even Petersburg's and everything. So, I mean, it's just, we're a part of, we may not be as old as the East, but we're here. And a lot of the people who fought in the Revolutionary War and who helped fund the war and who took part in it, well, everybody that was alive then took part somehow or another. But they all came here. They settled in this area. And so we've got a lot of Revolutionary War veterans who came to Pike County and settled here and everything. They have raised their families. Their descendants are still here today. And we just want to make everybody aware and kind of push that, and it's not a big birthday party. It's not a big giant, we don't want people to look at it like, this is just a big giant birthday party. We want them to reflect on everything that has happened to our country from 1776 to 2026.
What a great experiment it's been.
Yes.
Yes. I'll argue it's the best civilization out there.
Yes.
We're not perfect. We've got scars.
Oh, yeah. Everybody does.
We're human.
Yep.
It's in a fallen world. I still remember, I haven't put all my toys up from the bicentennial. Here's my Pez dispensers. There's Paul Revere, Uncle Sam, Pinewood Derby car. You know, back then, everything, you had the stamp of the Liberty Bell on it. This was an embossed eagle. We had eagles above on the top of the flagpoles, in the crest of the house, above the garage.
Yes.
And, you know, I mentioned this in the intro, but we're pretty patriotic. I don't know if that carries through today. That 200 bicentennial was orchestrated by 50, 60-year-old people from that World War II era. They were patriotic.
Yes.
They loved this country. I hope that transcends to this one.
You know, in a way, I think it does, and I think it will. I think people are just, it's like we aren't getting things out word of mouth. I mean, people, the social media, it's got, I don't know what they call that, algorithms. And if you're not, if you never researched anything, if you never typed in America 250, what's going on, you're not going to see anything. You're not going to see what's going on out there in the world, because a lot of people don't take the newspaper anymore. They don't, they don't read the local news. They don't know what's going on at the local level.
You see rants on Facebook.
Yeah. And so, they're not aware of what we are doing. How many people in Pike County know that we planted a Liberty tree out at Hornady Park last year? And the CAR children do. The children who joined the Children of the American Revolution White Oak Springs Society here in Pike County, they purchased that tree that was planted out at the park, because they are patriotic. They represent.
How old are these kids?
Our youngest is 2 years old, and our oldest is 20.
Wonderful.
So, and it's all different ages, and they learn about American history. They learn about patriotism and things like that. They just did a program this month. They watched a program about the George Rogers Clark, and when he took Fort Saxville, and the history of that, involvement, and how they, the kids were like, wow, they waded waist deep water in,
Right.
the winter to
water moccasins and whatever else.
Yes. And so, so they are learning about these things, but they also do community service. They helped make the Christmas, little bit miniature Christmas ornaments that were put on Christmas trees, that the Girl Scouts got Christmas trees to take to the nursing homes this year for Christmas, for the residents who don't have family members who come in and decorate their rooms, so that everybody could have a Christmas tree in their room. And the CAR kids helped make, the ornaments. They dress up in period costume, little uniforms and dresses and things like that. The girls do in their dresses and their little mop hats and everything. And they're in the parades, with the Sons of the American Revolution and the Daughters of the American Revolution and everything. But they're learning about their history. They're learning,
So if we've got maybe kids watching, or parents or grandparents, and they think, gee, my kid loves history. Send him up to
the Pike County History Center. We can make the connection for them. Tria McCandless is the senior presiding officer for the adult officer for the Children of the American Revolution, and Quentin Brewster, he's in middle school out at Pike Central. He's the president this year of the society, and they named their society White Oak Springs to represent the fort and the earliest settlers who got here.
Perfect.
So.
I squirrel on you sometimes.
Yeah, we just went off on a whole different thing. but
while we're there, that White Oak Springs was out toward Hornady Park.
Yes, on the right-hand side of the road.
And What give me a year for that as we're looking at 1776. What year are we? And we talk about 1816 for Pike County. What year are we talking?
Between 1800 and 1807.
1803 is what I was wanting to say.
Yeah, somewhere in that time frame. Woolsey Pride built the first. He built the original, started it. And we know that he was still paying taxes on his property in Kentucky when he supposedly, they're saying he first got here to build the fort. So we don't have an exact date, but we do have information about William Henry Harrison using the fort to store supplies for the Rangers to have easier access to it than having to go all the way back to Vincennes.
So sometimes I've heard it referred to as the fort, sometimes the scout cabin.
Nope, not scout cabin has absolutely nothing to do with the fort.
Thank you. Tell me.
Yeah, the scout cabin was not built from logs from the fort. Petersburg dropped the ball on the fort. When the man who owned the fort last, or who owned the property back in the 1930s, he talked to the city of Petersburg and he told them, "Hey, I need to build a new barn." He says, I need that. I got to tear this down. And they got together a group of people and said, "Oh, we're going to take it apart. We're going to bring it to town. We're going to rebuild it, and everything." And nothing ever came of it. He contacted him again. Nothing ever came of it. He finally had it bulldozed over into a pile. And eventually it was burnt. And then people started saying that when they built the scout cabin, oh, that was built with logs from. No, it was not. The fort had already been burnt. There's newspaper accounts. It's proven. The logs from the from the scout cabin, I believe, came from the Johnson cabin down in Clay Township, maybe. It's from that side of the county, and that was rebuilt there at the park.
Okay.
So, but that kind of clears that up.
Thank you. It is what it is.
We can clear up a few of those.
At least Cy Ashley took the ball and we moved the the Peter Brenton cabin out to the park.
Yes.
On our property, and it's a great addition.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. And the Liberty Tree is right there in the park too. And there is a marker there that talks about the Liberty Tree and why it's there for the dedication and everything. And if you go into the park and you turn and go down to the first shelter house, and the loop at the first shelter house, it's right there at the beginning of the loop. You can see the tree and the marker and everything.
Perfect.
So, and that was dedicated to all of the men and women who helped for our freedom.
Great. There's lots of them.
Yeah, that was one of the first projects that the America 250 Committee took part in.
Great project.
Yes, it was.
So, Sandy, let's get back to your notes. I'm going to shut up and listen.
Okay.
If you believe that.
Well, the America 250 Committee meets once a month. We have asked for representation from everyone. We have asked for representation from the county commissioners, from the school board, from the school corporation. We ask for organizations here in the county. Lions Club has sent someone. We have a representative from the Lions Club. The Otwell Ruatan. They're part of the committee. There's several people here in the community. Of course, DAR and SAR and CAR are represented. And Jill Heineman from the Chamber of Commerce, but anyone who's interested in helping with the America 250 is more than welcome to attend any meeting.
And do they just come find you or the meetings? Do they stop by what used to be the Barrett Memorial at the History Center?
We meet at the Barrett Memorial at the History Center is where we hold our meetings at, and I can give you some dates. We had a meeting on Monday, February the 2nd, and our next meeting is scheduled for March the 2nd at 6 o'clock on a Monday evening. That's our next meeting.
Monday, March 2nd.
Monday, March the 2nd at the History Center at 6 o'clock.
6 p.m.
And anyone is welcome to come and attend.
Great.
So, and to help with the plans. We need a lot of people on board if we're going to do some of the activities that, some of our activities, some activities come down from the state, that the state generates. Some activities come down from national. That's a national initiative, things that are going to be happening all the way across the nation at the same time on the same day. And so one of the things from the state is they're talking about every county doing a time capsule for their county. And we've talked about storing it at the Pike County History Center, but contingency plans for its preservation if it ever needs to be moved. And it would be opened again on July the 4th, 2076. And all paper items in the time capsule should be printed on archival paper, and we can't include any plastic items in the time capsule because plastic
Rots,
deteriorates. Well, it degrades, and it will damage all the other items that are around it. So that's like newspaper print. An actual newspaper print can never be archived because it's made with paper that has acid in it. It's acidic quality. If you've ever had a newspaper clipping that your great-great-grandmother stuck in the Bible, and you open it up and you see it brown on this side and brown on this side, it's because eventually that brown will be a hole where the brown is because it actually eats the other paper. So, yeah, it's one of those things. But, we need somebody that would be willing to kind of coordinate that project. We've talked to the schools, and I know the Otwell Miller Academy is already on board. We've heard from them. We're waiting to hear from the other schools in the county about the children writing letters to themselves about what they think that their life is going to be like in 50 years.
Great. And
to include those in the time capsule to be part of when it gets opened back up 50 years from now. And so that's something that they're talking about. And I know the Otwell 4th of July is going to be the whole theme for the parade and for all the activities will revolve around America's 250th anniversary. So they're still got a lot of things in the works over there. So
that is fabulous, Sandy. We've got to pay some bills. This all costs money. And do you know Dustin Schneer?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I do.
WFPC podcasting is brought to you in part by the Dustin Schneer Agency for Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance. They're located right here, just south of Illinois Street, 4407 North State Road 61, Petersburg, in the beautiful new freestanding building. Dustin and his capable staff, including Tyler Dillon, help guide you through the process on insurance. Whether it's home, auto, farm, commercial, or life insurance, the folks at Dustin Schneer Agency in Petersburg are here to help with the confidence that stands behind Indiana Farm Bureau and their experience. It's so much more personable when you can deal with someone face-to-face than a phone, text, email agent only. Dustin has been in business here since February of 2009. To top that, I've known Dustin since he was in high school. He and his wife Kelly have two beautiful daughters, Riley and Stella, who work as part of the staff at the Dustin Schneer Agency. Call them today, 812-766-1117.
This is Kyle Hathaway with Hathaway Excavating and Rock Yard. We have the equipment and crew to take care of your earth moving needs, septic installs, and digging out what you need dug out. We also deliver rock, and we maintain and pump septics. We're just a couple miles away. Call Hathaway Excavating at 812-582-2646.
There's a national initiative called Light Up United. And what the National America 250 Committee wants everyone to participate, and they want everyone to businesses, homes, government buildings to light up their buildings in red, white, and blue.
Wow.
And they would like for them to do this in May and to stay lit up all the way through July the 4th. They would like the country to become red, white, and blue. So that's an initiative that, they're talking about. I know at the History Center, we're trying to figure out how to do some outdoor lighting so we can have red, white, and blue, on our building. Wouldn't it be wonderful if the courthouse was red, white, and blue? Wow. And businesses here in town, if any of them can decorate red, white, and blue lights in their windows, or and homes.
I'm processing this while you're.
Yeah.
Like Christmas lights.
Red, white, and red, white, and blue though.
Wow.
No oranges or anything else. Just red, white, and blue for That's our colors. That's Another one is this is a national initiative. It's called America Gives. And it's been passed down through the state to us, and it's a proposed project from the National Committee, and they want to encourage communities and groups and individuals to do service projects that benefit their community, because everything from the beginning has been people pulling together to do, from the revolution on. They pulled together to make our country what it is, and they want people to continue that community involvement, and they would like for every community to set up a community day of service. So I know we have the United Way does their day of service, but they're talking about a whole countywide community day of service.
Wow.
And what kind of projects could be done. And so they're asking for us to do that. So our committee, of course, is looking for people who want to be involved in that, who would help plan this activity there's a few of us, but we can't do it all.
Right.
It's
hard to find help these days,
yes,
volunteers.
Yes, it is.
Everybody's so busy.
Everybody is so busy. It is hard. Tell me about it. It's Girl Scout cookie season. The Lantern Relay is a state initiative, and it's similar to the torch relay that we had for the bicentennial, only this time it's a lantern. And to represent, the lantern and,
That era.
Yes. So there's more information that's going to be coming from the state about that, but they've divided the state into so many districts, and every district will have their own lantern to go in. And I think we have a 9-county area that is going to be, that we're part of, that is going to have a lantern, and it's going to have Pike County, each county's name is going to be engraved on it, and this lantern has to go to every county for so long of a period of time.
It's not like a Paul Revere ride. It's
right. Or you can use it for a Paul Revere ride if you want to. If we had it in Pike County, we could do a Paul Revere ride. Mm-hmm. I can see the 4-H horse and pony getting involved in something. Yeah, something like that, and doing a Paul Revere ride out at Hornady Park and everything. Wouldn't that be the neatest thing? Mm-hmm. So it's all the America 250 quilt, and this is a Pike County initiative. This is one, and we're asking people to make 8.5 by 8.5 quilt squares, which would end up being 8-inch square. And we've got several in. This is just a small portion of them that we've got. We're putting together a quilt that represents, Pike County, America 250, and the quilt is going to be auctioned off at the 4th of July celebration. And I brought a few of the quilt squares.
Show us.
All right.
Dylan, can you see these?
I don't know if they'll show up or... Oh, that way. Sorry. These are just some of the quilt squares that have been... some of the ladies up at the quilt... Oh, this one is so neat. Look at this.
Yeah, that is perfect. That's beautiful.
Yeah, and they represent what the America 250 means to you. What
Great.
So it and like I say, they can be pieced, they can be appliqued, they can be embroidered, cross stitched, but they can't use Aida cloth if they do cross stitching, because that doesn't hold up for a quilt. It's a log cabin one. I like that one too. This one's pretty neat. So. And, here's one that has to do with the lanterns and the candles. Right. One if by land, two if by sea. So, and we ask people to put their name on their quilt block so that it can be included in the quilt. So.
Oh, those are fabulous.
But this is
So
just this is
colorful.
just a small portion of the quilt blocks that we have so far.
What did you just show us? 20, 15?
Yeah,
How many will there be?
there will be. I'm thinking 90,
Wow.
possibly 90.
So you need some help.
Oh yeah. We've got a stack of them in a box, but we need more. We need more. My Girl Scout troop, the girls in my Girl Scouts are junior high and high school girls, and every one of them is making a quilt block.
Perfect.
We've been working on them at the meetings and everything, and every one of the girls is going to have a quilt block on the quilt. So, but anybody can be involved. Anybody can make a quilt block and send it in. They can drop it off at the Pike County History Center, or they can drop it off to Denise Snare at the Pike County Library.
Great.
She's collecting them up at the library. So, and we'd like to have all of the quilt blocks in by the end of March. Because
It's coming right up.
yeah, it's coming up. It's coming up. Got about a month, a little over a month to get them in and everything. So we're looking for them right now. We actually had a little workshop up at the History Center yesterday and added a couple more blocks. We had a couple of the ladies that were working on quilt blocks up there.
8.5 by 8.5, and a
Yes.
half inch will be taken off.
Yes,
So they'll be 8 by 8.
the blocks will end up being 8 by 8. But
Well, it sounds like you've just got a lot of fingers into.
there's a little bit of everything going on. I was going to say, now this one is America's Potluck Luncheon, and this is a nationwide initiative too. They want everybody all over America to have a potluck luncheon on July the 5th.
Explain the significance of potluck and the history of potluck and why we're doing that now.
Well, what I know, communities had to work together to survive.
Just whatever you had.
Yeah,
brought.
and when they had a community get together, people brought what they had, and whatever showed up is what was eaten. And if everybody brought dessert, that's what you ate. If everybody brought meat and didn't bring any vegetables or anything, I mean, that's what, so it's potluck. It's whatever shows up. And I know the DAR has taken this project on quite a bit. They're hoping to plan an event out at Hornady Park and to provide some music on the stage out there, and that's there in the center of the park, not far from the cabin, and maybe a lunch vendor or something like that, and a reading of the Declaration of Independence, where families can come out to the park. They can listen to the music. They can bring their own picnic lunch if they want to. They can participate in the potluck if they want to. I mean, however they want to do it, to be part of the celebration.
Go grab your calendars. No, I'm just saying, go grab your calendars and start writing. What day is this?
This is Sunday, July the 5th.
Day after.
Yeah, we promised the Otwa Ruatan committee, because they finished theirs
gonna
on
be
July
wiped
the
out.
4th. We told them, we said, you just come and eat, we'll feed you.
Yeah, they're going to be.
You are going to be wiped out. Just come and eat. We'll take care of you. So that is, and I know that DAR is also with their activities. They're going to be passing out 250 of the little flags along the parade route for at the Otwell 4th of July. They're going to be involved with some of the schools. I know they've already got the dates set. I believe I wrote it down somewhere. July or March. They've got the date set March the 13th. They're going to be at the Otwell Miller Academy. And they've already set the date with them. They haven't heard back from the other two elementary schools yet. But they are going in on March the 13th, and they're going to be talking to the children, to each classroom, and they're going to be talking about the Declaration of Independence and about the Revolution. And the children are going to be able to make hats, the tri-corner hats for the boys and the mop hats for the girls and everything. And they are going to help to pass out and help them write their letters. that will go into the time capsule while they, as part of their activity while they are there. I understand they're going to spend the entire day. Some of the ladies dressed in period costume and everything and I don't have dates for the other schools yet because we haven't heard back, but I do have those, and so that's a couple of those, and then also the DAR up at the History Center is going to be scanning Bibles. Bibles were such an intricate part of family life back then. Just an example, when William Black, he was a Revolutionary War soldier here in Pike County, when they applied for a pension, from the government, when he got old and everything, and they applied for a pension, one of the things they had to prove was, when they got married and who their children were and, things like that. He actually tore the actual page out of his Bible and sent it in to prove their information. So his actual Bible page is not available for his future generations because it's in the National Archives. But
is it accessible?
It actually, you can there on fold 3. You can actually look at it. You can actually see it. They've already scanned it. The scanning project is ongoing. There's so many thousands and thousands, but of the pension records and pension pages. So not every single patriot is there yet, but there's a little information about every one of them. But they're scanning the files and getting them online, and I've actually seen, and printed a copy of his page out of his Bible. So as part of my project when I was working on him. But they are going to be scanning Bibles, and it's the first Friday and Saturday in May. The dates, I think, are May the 1st and 2nd. Is that right?
Not bring my calendar.
Yes, May the 1st and 2nd. They're going to be scanning. The History Center now owns an overhead scanner, which means that you don't have to flip anything, we can just lay it down and scan it, and very carefully turn the pages and things like that, which makes it so much easier and so much better for these Bibles that some people have their family Bibles dating back to the early 1800s and even before.
Okay, 1765 German.
Yep. I have a German Bible. My family, the Kiefers, I have a German Bible that dates back into the 1800s myself.
To read all that stuff, we need good glasses. Mm-hmm. We need a good eye doctor. We need to take a break. Do you know Clint Schultz?
Yes, I do. He's my eye doctor.
He's great.
Yes, he is. He's wonderful.
WFPC podcasting is brought to you in part by Schultz Eye Care at 715 South 9th Street, Petersburg. Schultz Eye Care offers comprehensive dilated eye exams, contact exams, a huge selection of frames, glasses, and sunglasses ranging from Nike, Under Armour, Coach, Oakley, and Ray-Bans. Get a second pair of glasses 50% off and a year's supply of contacts at 25% off. Dr. Clint Schultz and his friendly, capable staff have over 40 years' experience in the eye care business. They are local. It supports your community, and Schultz Eye Care does that. Open Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, 8 to 5. Tuesdays, they close at noon. The phone number is 812-354-9400. Recently, the real estate market has been unpredictable, but the sun is starting to shine, the weather is breaking, and at Harris Real Estate, we have clients looking for homes and properties. Let us help you sell your home and property and or find your next one. You always have heard that and it's so true, that real estate is local. We are local. We know the business. We know the community. Harris Real Estate has listed and sold hundreds of properties right here. Harris Real Estate, 812-380-1065. Bibles, back to Bibles.
Okay, we are scanning. The scanning project is May the 1st and 2nd. It's going to be going on from 9 in the morning until 5 in the evening. And we're encouraging people to bring their Bibles in. They're not going to last forever. They deteriorate slowly, and that they weren't made on acid-free paper back then. So to preserve the Bible and to be able to share it. Every time you take a photograph of a historic document, it deteriorates it a little more. Every time you scan it, every time you photo, anything like that, you're damaging it. So, our goal is to let's scan it with an overhead scanner, the least resistance, the least, issue. Then we can actually, if you bring in your flash drive, or we can provide some smaller flash drives, you can put that Bible on a flash drive so that you're preserving it. And also you can share it with other family members. Because, that Bible, when you think about it, you have 2 sets of grandparents. You have 4 sets of great-grandparents. You have 8 sets of great-great-grandparents. You go back far enough, how many descendants does this, if this Bible was written and started putting the information in it in 1803, how many generations of descendants does that person have? One person has that family Bible, but it affects thousands of people. And to be able to share that Bible and share that information with all of the descendants is important.
Right. This one has handwriting in it, and I think it was my grandmother that wrote it while she knew it.
Yes.
But the second owner, Johann Wimpelberg the First, he was German, but that part of Prussia was controlled by Napoleon. So winter of 1812, 1813, he was taken to Moscow, froze to death, the way it's written, like a statue on a horse.
Wow.
So
yeah.
And then his baby came over here in about 1840s. Johann II.
Yep.
But there's so much information in those Bibles.
Oh yeah. Well, like let's see, example, Hosea Smith.
Yes.
He's the one who bought Pride's Fort from Wolsey Pride. He's the one who put the stockade around it and everything. And anyway, he didn't necessarily use a Bible. He used like a prayer book and some other books. He wrote everything in the margins of the book, of books back then and everything. And I don't know who has the originals at this point now, but I do know the copies are out there and available. They're on Ancestry in several different places and everything where the descendants can actually see them and make copies of them and everything. And the wealth of information that's in that book, it's just fantastic. He even talks about, there's even things written in there about what he paid for things back then, and yeah. So
well, his dream was to develop that area and turn it into Alexandria.
Yes.
After his favorite son-in-law, I think.
Yeah. But
things didn't happen. Peter Brenton came along.
But that's okay, because he did it. He said, okay, that's fine. Whatever the vote is, he went with it. I mean, he wanted his town to, but he went with Petersburg and everything. And he's actually the surveyor who platted the entire town. So, I mean, so it was all that was part of that community, that compromise, that working together. That was, yeah.
That's what made us what we are.
That's right. But now that's what that with the DAR, like I say, they're doing the time capsule or the time capsule letters. They're doing the activities at the schools. They are willing to go into the schools and do all the teaching and everything like that. They're also offering a essay contest. I'm not sure what the themes are. I didn't get that information from Donna, but they're having an essay contest, and I believe there's some prizes involved, savings bonds or something like that as part of it. But more information on that will be coming out later. One of the other things that we're doing is I don't know if anybody has seen the patriotic articles, the articles about the different patriots that have been in the local newspapers the last several months. We're writing articles about the different patriots who moved into Pike County, who came and brought their families to Pike County and everything. There was a newspaper article about James Brenton and his service. We've done John Coonrod, William Black, Isaac Fisher, Jonathan Conger, and Hosea Arnold so far. Or Josiah, not Hosea, Josiah Arnold. We've done their bios. Yes, so far those are the ones that are completed, and we still have several more we're putting in the paper.
Where Meridian Road dead ends, there's a Johnson
Cemetery. Robert Johnson. I'm working on his article right now. I'm researching on Robert Johnson right now.
He was in the Revolutionary War.
Yes, he was. And so many of his descendants are right here still here in the county. And that's another thing. The Historical Society, they're at the History Center and the library, the genealogy department. Either place is a fantastic place to go. They are more than willing to help you research your families. You know, if you want to know if you had patriots in the Revolutionary War, we can help you find out.
The Old Town Cemetery at Petersburg Elementary.
Yes.
Are the Revolutionary?
Thomas Meade is buried there.
Okay.
Yes, he is the stone that has the little fence around it.
Okay.
The little iron fence. DAR actually had that fence installed. I want to say in the 40s or the 50s, around his grave.
Paul Welch was one of my early friends, and
yes,
he was passionate about.
Paul was such a wealth of information on the veterans, especially in Pike County, not just the Revolutionary, but every war. He researched, and I mean, it's just, yes, he was great.
Yep.
But these, like I say, these are some of the activities that are going on. I hope I hit on all of them. There is no, I didn't. I still have one more.
Hey, let's
okay,
pay one more bill.
All right.
And this one, we're a little past where we're just talking about. It's the Log Ends Farm Bed and Breakfast.
Yes.
WFPC podcasting is brought to you in part by the Log Ends Farm Bed and Breakfast. If you need a place to stay in Pike County or the surrounding area of southern Indiana, there is no place quite like the Log Ends Farm Bed and Breakfast. Just a couple of miles west of Petersburg at 2769 Indiana State Road 56. It is quaint to say the least. It's peaceful. You're surrounded by nature and God's creations in a very traditional rural farm environment, which is what Steve and Donna set up years ago. It's now passed down to the next generation of Courtney and AJ, but still under the watchful eyes of Donna. It is a traditional farm fare nestled in the countryside of southern Indiana with a working farm that grows grain, hay, and livestock. It incorporates 2 vintage log cabins. It's small, personal operation. They make you feel like family. Visit their website, logends.com, and call today to book your retreat, 812-354-2192. Winter is wrapping up, maybe. That salt and grime on the roads to provide safe driving this winter is eating away at your vehicle. You don't see the damage underneath. on the paint, it is corroding your vehicle. When you wash your vehicle on a regular basis, there are many advantages. You're easier to see, you preserve the life of your vehicle, help maintain its value, enhance vision, and it looks better. The washing with a wand, you can get into those crevices. Stop by Petersburg Car Wash today, 401 South 9th Street, State Road 61, Petersburg. Keep it clean. So, okay, what's coming up next?
Okay, the Pike County's America 250 pageant
Oh my.
is going to be coming up, and this one is sponsored by the 4-H Council.
Okay.
And it is going to be Sunday, April the 26th is when it's scheduled. And I don't have any other information on it besides the date, because they said watch for the date, and I just got the date. She sent me a text, and so I have the date now. But this is something else that's going to be coming up. And if your organization is doing something for the America 250, please let us know. There is a calendar at the state level, the State America 250. If you go on and you type in Indiana America 250, you will get the state website, and for the state committee, and they have a calendar on there that tells you what is going on as far as the America 250 in every single county in the state of Indiana. Now, so for this, before I space it, okay,
do you go into the courthouse and see Brooke?
You go. I go into the courthouse at there at the 4-H office, and you can get more information.
Ages?
I don't know.
Okay.
I just got the date.
Okay.
So
All right.
more information. Yeah. Well, but anyway, to get your activity put on the America 250 calendar at the state level, we have a form that needs to be filled out, and so this is a copy of the form. And we just let them know what's going on and when it's going to be and everything. And we turn that, our committee has to turn it into the state, and then your event will be included at the state on the state calendar. So you need to let us know when you've got something that you're going to do that's going on. I know the Lions Club is working on an activity. They've got a speaker that's going to be coming in. I haven't got any real information on that one yet, but they're supposed to let me know as soon as they've got the date set, so we can get that on the calendar and everything. I've just got the information for the date on the pageant, so that's going to be added to the state calendar as well. But yeah.
Okay.
But come to the America 250 committee meeting March the 2nd.
March 2nd, 6
o'clock at the Pike County History Center.
What we used to call the Barrett Memorial.
Yes, next door to the VFW.
Okay. Wow, you've got a lot going on. Sandy, I hate to just throw you out there like this, but give us your phone number in case we get, in case we're thinking, gee, it'd be so easy to talk to her.
Oh, it's 812-582-0088. And if I don't answer because I don't recognize the number, because I get so many spam calls, it's just, yes. So just leave a message and I will get back to you.
Or text?
Yes, or text.
You text?
Yes. Text is fine.
Yeah, sometimes that text is easy to, like right now I'm not checking phones, but
yeah,
I can look at that text and say, oh, call Sandy.
Yeah.
You've got a lot going on. This is going to be a busy community, a busy state, a busy country. And I hope it revitalizes the faith that we have in this great nation.
Yes.
That we are so blessed to be here. Sandy, thanks. If you think of something else, let us know.
Okay, yeah, and please don't forget the quilt squares. Like I say, we can use some more.
Do people quilt like they used to? I know. Angela up front, she still quilts.
It's kind of like a revitalized art.
Great.
More people are. I know more people that has started quilting probably in the last 10 years than has ever quilted before. I was not really that much of a quilter in the past. My grandmother and my great grandmother, they did some quilting and things. My grandmother made mostly comforters. She would make the tops and everything, and then she would set up quilting frames in the basement, and we would tie them off. She didn't do actual quilting, but she made the tops and everything.
Fella north of town, I want to say Grester Arnold. I think he was quite a quilter in his retirement. I mean, I don't know if my hands would work that well anymore.
Yeah, mine doesn't work for the little fine. Anything I can do on the sewing machine, I can do. But when it gets down to that little bitty, I hand quilted a couple of lap robes for veterans at the nursing home, and it was like, oh gosh, this is it was time consuming. So I mostly tie mine. I can't afford it's expensive to have them quilted with a long arm quilter, so, but anyway, I think the quilt project is just great. I think the last time we had a county-wide quilt project was, I want to say, oh my gosh, maybe back in the 1970s, maybe if it was for the 76th. Or in 1976, I'm not sure, but we have it. We actually have the quilt up at the History Center.
Great.
So, and it was a community-wide project too. So, but yeah.
Sandy, you're always a wealth of welcome knowledge and information. Thank you.
Well, I don't ever say I know it all. Not and I have been corrected, and I accept corrections with proof. I will accept any corrections with proof, and that's the thing, that a lot of people with the work I do with genealogy and everything, if it's not, they'll say, well, you left my great great grandfather off of the family tree, and I said, well, I need proof that he belongs on the family tree. I never found proof. I've got a will record that lists 7 children, and you're telling me this other one is a child of this person, but they weren't listed in the will. So is there something else that you can give me to prove it, and we'll put him on? So yeah.
In the past, I used to play on Ancestry.com, and I was just, kids come along and get busy, and that goes on the back project. But I would have people just come up with their own hypothesis, and I'm thinking, I don't know if I believe that.
Yeah. Well, you have to take Ancestry with a grain of salt.
Do you?
Yeah, because everybody's got their theories about this one and that one. Some people use census records, and they say, for example, in 1850, this man and this woman, and they had all of these kids were listed. Well, they're all their children. Well, they might not necessarily be all their children. I had an ancestor in Kentucky that had all of these kids, and what happened is I found guardianship records where he took guardianship of his brother's kids, named his brother's kids. His brother's kids fit in between all of his kids. And so he had all of these children, but they weren't all his. Some of them were his nieces and nephews, because I have the guardianship records as proof. But on Ancestry, a lot of people have them listed as the parents of his brother's children, and you can't correct other people's trees. So everybody who says, "Oh, here it is, I found it. These are the parents," not necessarily.
Well, and there's also a situation I got into. A guy named Harris called me and said, "I'm done. I'd love to know what you can tell me about." And so I turned in my DNA for him, and they came back and they said, "You're not a Harris." So you don't know. You go back 4 or 5 generations, you don't know what happened.
Yeah. Oh, I tell you what, we got some books up at the courthouse that's got some interesting stories in them. The old Justice of the Peace records,
right,
from dating back in the 1800s. Those Justice of the Peace in each township. Okay. They settled cases. They settled the smaller cases that they could handle, and if it was a case that they felt like they couldn't handle, they sent it to the county court. So, but if it was a case they could handle, you will be amazed at how many bastardy cases are in those old books. Yeah. Where they proved that this was the father of the child, and things, and they had witnesses and things like that. So it's been really interesting. It's interesting reading.
It's interesting.
It's very interesting reading. But I take Ancestry with a grain of salt. If there's no proof, if you didn't have something to prove this relationship, I'm not accepting it.
Right.
And it's the same with Find a Grave. I know, for example, right here in Pike County, there's two gentlemen. One of them's Andrew Jackson Korn and Andrew Korn. They're two different people. They were born, I think, 9 years apart. One of them served in the Civil War and one of them did not. But their Find a Grave is together. They've got somebody's military history and part of his kids with the other guy and his wife and part of his kids, and and they're two separate people, but it's one Find a Grave. And so, and it's like, somebody needs to fix it.
Right.
But I mean, so you find examples. So I also take Find a Grave with a grain of salt. I look for actual proof. Death certificates are fantastic so far back, but once you reach a certain point, there's no death certificate. So you have to rely on wills and deeds and Bible records. Bible records are so important.
Sandy, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thanks for joining us for this program of WFPC Podcasting. The program is brought to you by Harris Real Estate, Hathaway Excavating and Rock Yard, Petersburg Car Wash, the Dustin Schneer Indiana Farm Bureau Agency, Schultz Eye Care, and the Log Ends Farm Bed and Breakfast. Please like the podcast and share with your friends so more people can hear about WFPC podcasting. It's on YouTube, Apple Podcasts. Just type it in your browser. It's out there. This is episode 40, and they're all on there. Join us next Friday for another WFPC podcast exploring the people, information, and news right here in Pike County. See you next week.
Thanks for watching WFPC Podcasting, your local source for the heart and history of Pike County, Indiana. From back roads to town centers, we bring you the voices, stories, and news that shape our community. Join us on this journey through the past, present, and future of Pike County, Indiana. Tune in next week for the next episode of WFPC Podcasting.